Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is Saturday night. I am here deep in the heart of flyover country in a secret, secure location, and I'm making the Rex Bear mistake. I've corrected it. But we're going to talk today about, and speaking of Rex Bear, I was on Rex's channel today. If you got a chance to catch that, you know it was a super cool interview, a great discussion. I was going to say between two great minds, but between the mind of me and Rex, whatever those are. And it was an interesting time. It was an enjoyable time. And I do encourage you to go over and take a look at that video on Leak Project with my good friend and pretty much my YouTube mentor, Rex Bear. So looking forward to you going over and checking that out. And while you're there, subscribe to Rex's channel. Several people saying it was a good show. I'm glad that you feel that way. And we're in the situation now where time is on our minds because we've just come through the new year period, and we're obviously still in a new year, and we're beginning to think about and considering time and thinking in that genre. So I thought it'd be a nice time to take a look at time itself and to talk about why time seems to fly when you're having fun and why sometimes when you're not having fun, it seems to do the opposite, and just get an idea of time itself. And Merlin is really excited about the show, as you can hear. So we're looking forward to giving more great content for our canine viewing audience, as well as our human viewing audience. So I'm going to be reading from an article that comes from the Express, and it says time is not real. And that's not a surprise when you hear it from somebody like me. That's not a surprise when you hear it from someone within what's been called the conspiratorium. It's not a surprise when you hear it from somebody that's on YouTube. But there is now a growing number of physicists, ladies and gentlemen, that believe that they have cracked the code and have brought the math to bear that shows, ladies and gentlemen, that everything happens at the same time. And what this means is that time is not real. It's a human construct that we use to differentiate between now and our perception of the past. And this is not coming from someone off of YouTube. This is coming from physicists, and the author of the article is Sean Martin. It's on dated December 3rd, and again, it's from the express.co.uk. And Toth has talked about this. Time is not real. Time is not fluid. And many people think that Toth is synonymous with thought. And could it be that time is all in our heads? I think it's very possible. Let's look at some of the data that was compiled by the researchers. And of course, things want to go haywire soon I begin to talk about it. But they are saying that time is made up of human memories. It's an illusion. And here's the key. All time that has ever been and all time that will ever be is here right now. It is here simultaneously. It is here concurrently. There is no past. There is no future. There really is no now. It's just our perception of it and where we are. Time does not move, but we move through this thing called time, which there really isn't anything called time. It's just something that we have created in our minds to create a symmetric existence. And time can move, according to these physicists, backward just as easily as it does forward. And in fact, some people think that, the Big Bang happened and everything's expanding. And they think that when it reaches its apex or its fullness and starts contracting, things will start running backwards. Wouldn't that be interesting? Maybe that's why your life will flash before you. Only it'll flash before you in reverse. But it basically comes down to an understanding that Einstein forwarded and that many other great thinkers have brought into their thinking since then, and it's called a block universe. And we just talked yesterday about a blockchain. I can't help but think that new paradigms and new vistas of information and new avenues of understanding are being opened up to us, even as Rex and I were talking about just the other day. But this theory of block universe, not blockchain, but block universe, and it goes hand in hand with blockchain. The Akashic records are blockchain. The Lamb's Book of Life is blockchain, but I thought blockchain was created by Satoshi Nakamoto. It was, and Satoshi Nakamoto was God. Look at my video about blockchain just a couple days ago. I'll try to remember to put it in the box below. And by the way, tomorrow morning, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 a.m. Pacific Time, Not Your Normal Sunday Show with myself and Wayne Steiger. The block universe basically states that space and time are part of a four-dimension structure where everything that has happened has its own coordinates in space-time. That means that everything that's real in the sense that the past or even the future is still there in space-time, and everything is equally as important and equally as accessible as the present. If you can think of, a grid, and if you look down on it, it's a cube. Oh, how about that? You could take your X, Y, two X, Ys, and A, B, C, D, whatever. You could pinpoint any time. And it would be simply a measurement of those four quadrants, and you could pinpoint any time. Now, again, this doesn't come from some crazy YouTuber, some crazy ex-Pentecostal preacher. This is coming from some of the leading physicist minds from little places like, let's see, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT. Guy named Max Tegmark says that we can portray our reality as either a three-dimensional place where stuff happens over time, or as a four-dimensional place where nothing happens, or a block universe. And if it really is the second picture, then change really is an illusion, because there's nothing that's changing. It's all just there, past, present, future. We have the illusion at any given moment that the past already happened and that the future doesn't yet exist and that all things are changing. But all I'm ever aware of, says Tegmark, is my brain state right now. The only reason I feel like I have a past is that my brain contains memories. Julian Barber, a British physicist who's authored several books on the subject of time, describes everything as a series of nows. It's one now after another. It's like driving along and looking out the window of a train. Now. Those nows that you've passed are not there now. The nows that are to come are not there now. Only nows that you see are the nows that be. And he adds, Dr. Barber, that what we perceive as the past is just an illusion formed in our brain. The only evidence you have of last week, he says, is in your memory. But memory comes from a structure of neurons in your brain, you guessed it, now. How about that? Somebody says, what about the rocks and fossils that speak of Earth's past? Well, this physicist says maybe they're just stable structures in the form of an arrangement of minerals that we examine, guess what, right now in the present. The point is, all we have are these records, and you only have them in the now. So what is time? Is time, I had a long car trip about a week ago, and I started listening to the radio, listening to 70s music, and I kind of lost time. It's the only way I know how to explain it. 500 miles was gone like that. What was that? We've all had the experience where, or a lot of us have had the experience where we're involved in something that we find eminently pleasurable. And a great passage of time, a great amount of time can pass, and it seems like that. And it's been 6, 7, 8, 9 hours. I remember sitting down to write one of my 15 books, and 12 hours are just gone. You're on the phone with someone you're falling in love with, 3 hours are gone. And we have this saying that time flies when you're having fun. Why does time fly when you're having fun? Could it be that when you're having fun, you're involved in something invariably that supports your great basic purpose, that supports your reason for being here that you know and feel deep within yourself? When you're in that zone, you're inevitably and invariably in that zone because you're involved in something you like, you're good at, you're gifted at, you thoroughly enjoy, you're totally immersed in. And you get out of this linear thought that we have of past, present, future. You step outside of time in your thought, in your toth, and you literally become like the divine. And you are divine, you are sovereign, you are free, because the divine live outside of time. So time flies when you're having fun because you're in your great basic purpose, you're serving your sovereignty, you're serving your divinity, you're serving your freedom, and you are, for all practical purposes and for all impractical purposes, for that matter, stepped outside of time and space. If past, present, future are like radio stations that you just tune into, you're probably on a completely different band. Like I was on the XM, Sirius XM radio, and you can have a radio in your car, but you're not going to tune into Sirius XM, not because it's not within the range of your antenna, but because you don't have the tuner in your car to pick up the XM Sirius radio. And I do, aren't I fancy? So can we import that tuner, implant that tuner, install that tuner within our psyche, our spirituality, our body, wherever it goes, so that we can, at will, step out of time, step out of space, and move into GBP, Great Basic Purpose protocols, where time and space no longer have control on us? Can we do it at will? I say yay, we can. We just have to apply ourselves to the learning of that. Conversely, if time flies when you're having fun, what does it do when you're not having fun? When you're at work, doing a job that you do for 40, 50, 60 hours a week, that you hate, with people that you don't like, in a place that you've got to drive an hour in traffic both ways to scratch out a living, to have a little bit to be able to enjoy yourself and your family and friends after you're done building somebody else's dream. Am I depressing you? Good, I'm trying to. It's the new year. Get out of that racket. I don't know how. I've talked about it a long time. You can do it. I know because I did. But you're as far away from your great basic purpose as you can possibly be in those scenarios. You're as far away from anything that you enjoy as possible. You are more linear focused, you're more now focused than ever. when you're in those situations. And that's when you're feeling the full weight, the full force, and the full dominion of time. And in those cases, ladies and gentlemen, in those cases, time is an oppressor. Time is always an oppressor. That's what the nature of time is. And of course, an American philosopher, Jagger, said, time is on our side. Yes, it is. Time's on our side when we get on the outside of that thing which we call time. So don't you think if the MIT, if the Oxford philosopher that even doubts the existence of the divine can figure this out, isn't it about time that those of us that understand that we're spiritual beings having a physical manifestation at this point, actually spiritual beings using a physical manifestation to move through this time and space, don't you think it's time that we began to realize the same things that the physicists are realizing, the same things that the academians are realizing? And you've got to understand, folks, I'm trying to challenge us, because these people in academia, these doctors, these physicists, they've been in school longer than any of us. They've been under the fear and guilt control matrix. They've been under what David Icke calls the postage stamp mentality. They are the most indoctrinated. They are the most indoctrinated. I can't think of a better word. And when even the most indoctrinated, those that have been under the closest supervision and have received the most intense mama bird barf into their beaks, you know, the mama bird flies off, eats some food, comes back, babies open their mouth, and they eat it up. Those within the educational system have been indoctrinated the most. And they, in turn, as Tracy says, become the indoctrinators. The most indoctrinated inherit the mantle of the indoctrinators. And when the indoctrinators are able to see and understand and perceive things that we, who are supposedly unindoctrinated, are not yet seeing, I say, shame on us. Shame on you. Shame on me. That ain't the way it's supposed to be. Nigel says it's rote learning. That means they tell you what to believe, you memorize it. No, let me take it back. Rewind that. They barf into your mouth, and then about every 2 weeks, there's a test, and you are judged by your ability to regurgitate what they have regurgitated into your brain. Steph 888 says, ooh, yeah, that's a big U, but that's you. Michelle Cannon Free says it's Floyd's brick in the wall. All in all, it's just another brick in the wall. Yeah, it is. Hey, teacher, leave them kids alone. The teachers aren't going to leave you alone until you decide to leave the teachers alone. Rocky Stucci gives me an LOL. Rocky Stucci will be on a special broadcast of The Last Stand 1 week from tomorrow, the 13th. We don't need no thought control. He will be with us, and I don't know if this is a secret or not, but I have a surprise for you. Monday night on The Last Stand, Jay Campbell and I will be joined by the one, the only Robert Stanley. He will be with us Monday night. Then we've got a great special broadcast with Rocky Stucci the next Sunday. Hashtag shut up. And then, that's right, Dawn. Isn't that interesting? The brick in the wall talks about eat your pudding. I'm talking about the analogy there. And of course, Rocky is helping me procure the attendance of Mr. David Icke on The Last Stand. And I'm telling you, that's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. And I see that the grammar police are in the house. Lots of great stuff coming up. Is it coming up or has it already happened? I should just say David Icke has already been on The Last Stand. We just haven't got to that place yet where we're going to manifest it, but we're fixing to cook that stuff up, baby. Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, it's good times. It's fun times. It's powerful times. It's time for us, talking about time. If there is no time, then there is no time like the present, is there? Now's the time to stop being unsophisticated. Now's the time to be unindoctrinated. Now's the time to guide your own spirit. Master your own ascension. Be your own guru. Now's the time to do the inside job. We're the last generation of real humans. If not us, who? If not now, when? There's no time like the present, because there is no time. There's only the present. And when we unwrap that and understand that, then we will have the gift that keeps on giving and sets the captives free. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, your harmless, friendly neighborhood Christian whistleblower, busting paradigms, destroying boxes, bringing you information for you to be able to make the best possible decisions. We're the last generation of real humans. Tick tock, tick tock. Let's get busy.